She was told her future before she could understand it. A prophecy that promised her a crown, and then promised to take everything away.
You'll be queen. For a time. Then comes another. Younger. More beautiful. To cast you down.
Most people would hear that prophecy and try to change. Try to be kind. Try to be careful. Cersei heard that prophecy and decided to burn the world before the world could burn her. And that is not bravery. That is not strategy. That is narcissism. Pure, clinical, textbook narcissism. But here is what most people get wrong about Cersei Lannister. They think she is evil. They think she is cruel. They think she is a monster. She is, but not for the reasons you think. Cersei was born with the same intellect as Jaime, the same ambition as Tywin, the same Lannister blood, but she was born a woman. And in Westeros, that meant she was not raised to rule. She was raised to be sold, married off to whatever king or lord strengthened the family name. Narcissism often develops as a defense mechanism against feeling powerless. Cersei did not wake up one morning and choose to be a narcissist. She was told her entire life that she was less than her brothers, despite being smarter than one and more ambitious than the other. So she built an armor of superiority so thick that no one could ever make her feel small again. Except the armor did not protect her, it consumed her. Today, we are going to use real psychology to break down Cersei Lannister, not the villain you see on screen. The disorder underneath. A clinical psychologist actually diagnosed Cersei with Narcissistic Personality Disorder using the DSM criteria, and when you see the evidence, you will realize it explains everything. Why she loves Jaime, why she hates Tyrion, why she destroyed the Septond, why she lost everything. It all connects to one diagnosis. Let us start with the symptoms. The first symptom is grandiosity. Narcissists do not just believe they are confident. They genuinely believe they are superior to everyone around them, not better at something, superior as a species. Cersei does not think she deserves power. She thinks power is her birthright. She was born a Lannister. She was promised to a prince. She was always meant to rule. And anyone who questions that is not a rival. They are an insect.
Power is power.
She says this to Littlefinger after having her guards hold a knife to his throat. That is not a political statement. That is a narcissist defining reality. I do not need your games. I do not need your intelligence. I have power, and that is all that matters. But psychologists make an important distinction here. There are two types of narcissism. Grandiose narcissism is the arrogant mask, the confidence, the superiority. That is the Cersei everyone sees. But underneath it is vulnerable narcissism, the paranoid, terrified child who is constantly afraid that someone will take everything away. Cersei switches between these two all the time. In public, she is the grandiose queen who sends kings to bed and threatens to strangle her rivals. In private, she drinks wine alone and obsesses over a prophecy she heard at 13. The grandiose Cersei is a performance. The vulnerable Cersei is the real one, and the real one is terrified. The second symptom is narcissistic extension. Narcissists do not love people. They love reflections of themselves. Think about who Cersei loves. Jaime, her twin, the person who looks exactly like her. A clinical psychologist pointed out that Cersei is not capable of loving someone who is not herself. Her one true love is her twin, who looks just like her. When Cersei looks at Jaime, she does not see another person. She sees a mirror, her children. She does not love them as individuals. She loves them as parts of herself. Through Joffrey, she feels power. Through Myrcella, she sees her own beauty. Through Tommen, she sees her own lost innocence. They are not children to her. They are mirrors. And Tyrion? She hates Tyrion because he is everything she refuses to accept about herself. Small, imperfect, and yet loved by others without trying. He is the living proof that you do not need to be beautiful or powerful to matter. And for Cersei, that is unforgivable. The third symptom, and perhaps the most chilling, is a complete lack of empathy. The DSM defines this as an inability or unwillingness to recognize the feelings and needs of others. Cersei does not just ignore other people's pain. She genuinely does not register it. Look at the very first season. Joffrey is bitten by Nymeria, Arya's direwolf. The wolf runs away. So Cersei demands that Lady, Sansa's direwolf, be killed instead. Lady did nothing. Lady was innocent. But Cersei does not see an innocent animal. She does not see a little girl about to lose her pet. She sees a problem that needs to disappear. Get her a dog. She will be happier for it. Sansa is crying. The wolf is innocent. And Cersei says this like she is doing the girl a favor. That is not cruelty for the sake of cruelty. That is the absence of the ability to feel what another person feels. It is clinical. It is cold. And it never gets better. Now let us watch narcissism operate in real time. When Margaery Tyrell arrives in King's Landing, something happens inside Cersei that most people misread as jealousy. It is not jealousy. It is narcissistic threat response. Remember the prophecy. Another, younger, more beautiful, to cast you down. Cersei has carried those words her entire life. And now Margaery walks in. She is younger. She is more beautiful. And the people love her. For a narcissist, this is not competition. This is annihilation. Psychologists call it narcissistic supply. Narcissists feed on admiration, the way normal people feed on food. When someone else takes the attention, the narcissist enters panic mode. The supply is being stolen. And a starving narcissist is the most dangerous person in the room.
If you ever call me sister again, I'll have you strangled in your sleep.
This is not a queen defending territory. This is a narcissist defending identity. If Margaery takes the attention, Cersei does not just lose power. She loses herself. So she does what every narcissist does when threatened. She does not compete. She does not improve. She destroys. She brings the faith militant into King's Landing, weaponizes religion, and sets a trap for the younger queen. But narcissists never think about consequences. And the weapon turns on her. The High Sparrow forces Cersei to walk naked through the streets of King's Landing for hours, while the people she ruled screamed at her, threw food at her, and spat on her. This is the most important scene in Cersei's entire arc. Psychologists call it narcissistic collapse. When the grandiose self-image shatters, when the mask falls, when the narcissist is forced to see themselves the way the world sees them. But watch her face during the walk of shame. In the beginning, you see pain, shame, tears. But by the end, something changes. The pain disappears. The shame disappears. What replaces it is rage. This is what psychologists warn about. When a narcissist collapses, they do not become humble. They do not learn. They rebuild the mask bigger than before. And this time, the mask has no room for mercy. After the walk, Cersei wears black for the rest of the series. Never Lannister gold again. The old Cersei, the one who still cared about being loved, died on that walk. What came back was the vulnerable narcissist, fully consumed by the grandiose one. No more fear, no more pretending, just rage wearing a crown. The destruction of the Sept of Baelor is the most narcissistic act in Game of Thrones history. Cersei fills the tunnels with wildfire. The same weapon the Mad King wanted to use to burn King's Landing. The same weapon Jaime killed a king to prevent. And she detonates it. Inside the Sept are hundreds of innocent people. Margaery, Loras, the High Sparrow. And Cersei does not care. She watches from her window, wine in her hand, and she smiles. This is narcissistic rage, not normal anger. Normal anger is proportional. Someone hurts you, you want justice. Narcissistic rage is disproportional. Someone embarrasses you, you want extinction. Cersei did not blow up the Sept to win a war. She blew it up because the people inside made her feel small. They stripped her naked. They made her walk. They made the crowd laugh at her. And for a narcissist, being laughed at is worse than death. And the cost. Tommen, her last child. He watches the explosion. He takes off his crown. He steps to the window, and he jumps. The prophecy is complete. Gold their crowns, gold their shrouds. Cersei looks at Tommen's body and shows nothing. No tears. She orders him burned. That is not grief. That is a narcissist who has lost the last mirror that reflected her own goodness. Without her children, there is nothing left to pretend for. Now let us talk about the person Cersei loves most, Jaime, her twin, her mirror. A clinical psychologist wrote that Cersei is not capable of loving someone who is not herself. When she looks at Jaime, she sees her own face looking back. And that is the only thing a narcissist can truly love, their own reflection. But then Jaime changes. He loses his hand. He starts questioning her. He develops a conscience. And watch what happens. Cersei does not support his growth. She attacks it. She mocks his missing hand. She calls him weak. She questions his loyalty. Psychologists call this narcissistic devaluation. When the mirror stops reflecting what the narcissist wants to see, the narcissist does not blame themselves. They blame the mirror, and they try to break it. When Jaime finally leaves in Season 7, when the mirror walks out of the room, Cersei does not cry. She threatens to have him killed, because to a narcissist, someone leaving is not heartbreak, it is betrayal. And here is the deepest layer. Go back to the prophecy. Maggy the Frog told Cersei 3 things. You will be queen. Another will replace you. Your children will die. Every single part came true. Not because of fate, but because Cersei made it true. She was so paranoid about the younger queen that she created the conditions for Margaery to rise. She was so controlling of her children that she created the conditions for their deaths. She was so obsessed with power that she became the thing everyone warned her about. Psychologists call this a self-fulfilling prophecy. You are so afraid of something happening that your fear becomes the cause. Cersei did not fall because of Maggy's words. She fell because she believed them. And her narcissism turned belief into action. And if this sounds familiar, it should. Cersei is her father's daughter. Tywin controlled through fear. Cersei controls through destruction. Both needed to be the most powerful person in the room. Both destroyed their families trying. But Tywin was strategic. Cersei is emotional. Tywin destroyed houses for the Lannister name. Cersei destroys them because they made her feel inferior. Even Tywin saw it. He told Cersei she was not as smart as she thought she was. And Cersei proved him right, every single time. In the end, Cersei dies the way no narcissist can accept, small. She is not on the throne. She is not surrounded by armies. She is in a basement, under a crumbling red keep, holding the one person she ever truly loved. Jaime comes back. He always comes back. And in the end, the mirror and the narcissist die together.
I don't want to die.
Look at me. Look at me.
I don't like this. Not like this. Not like this.
Look me in the eye.
Crushed under the weight of the castle she spent her whole life trying to control. That is the most honest thing Cersei ever says. Not like this. Not small. Not forgotten. Not underground. She spent her entire life making sure she would matter. And in the end, the ceiling does not care who sits on the throne. The woman who blew up a building full of people dies in a building that collapses on her. The poetic justice is not subtle. This is what narcissism really looks like. Not confidence, not ambition, not even cruelty. It looks like a woman who was told at 13 that she would lose everything and spent her entire life proving the prophecy right. It looks like someone who was born with every gift Westeros could offer, but because she was born a woman, she was told those gifts did not count. And instead of fighting the system, she became worse than the system ever was. It looks like someone who can burn down a church full of people, but cannot sit with her own feelings for 5 minutes. Someone who can control a kingdom, but cannot control the fear inside her own head. Cersei Lannister wore a crown, but the crown was never about power. It was about filling the emptiness, and no crown in the world is heavy enough to fill a hole that deep. Narcissism is not about loving yourself too much. It is about being so terrified of your own emptiness that you will burn everything around you rather than face it. Cersei proved that you can take everything and still have nothing. You can be queen and still be empty. You can be feared by all and loved by none. And in the end, the crown melts, the castle falls, and the narcissist dies holding the only mirror she ever had. What do you think? Who is the biggest narcissist in Game of Thrones? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to understand the minds behind the game, subscribe to Valyrian Mind. We are just getting started.